Right. Good afternoon, everyone, and good afternoon, panel. Thank you for being here. It's been a fairly impactful morning, especially with Aditya's keynote. And I think one of the takeaways from the keynote was how everything has to be measured through performance, right? And when we even speak about health, well-being, how is the person really progressing, right? And what are the parameters they're looking good on? So really talk about play and health. So when you have to really talk about play, again, if we have to bring in what are the performance metrics really looking like? Does it really play a role, play an impact in well-being? But that conversation also doesn't happen because how do you really measure play? Right? Because it's also often seen as something that you indulge in when your work is done at the end of the day, something extra, something for leisure. And again, gender plays a role, right? How they were saying that if you're wearing a sari, then you can't really participate or you need support. So when we are looking at this conversation, it's with this premise that play is not optional. It is foundational. And research has shown, if you have to really go by performance metrics, research has shown that how it is deeply linked to nervous system regulation, emotional regulation as well. We just saw from the panel how kids beautifully identified it कि अगर आप खेलोगे तो आपकी body में दर्द कम होगा, stress कम होगा, right? And they have identified it, and so has the research as well. So the idea today would be to look at, from today's conversation, how can we integrate play in a way that's going to really support well-being? And well-being which we're looking at from physical, mental, emotional, spiritual well-being as well. So let's reframe play today, where we are intentionally reintroducing play in our context, in our conversations, with the intent to also then redesign, bring about the systemic shift. So if we have to start today's conversation, let's understand what play is. How do you all understand play and playfulness in our work, in your work? And what does it really look like and feel like? So if I could start with you, Rohit.
Thanks, Samriti. I think play for me is anything which is facilitating agency for people, that I am able to choose what I want to do, I'm able to kind of find joy in what I'm doing, and that could be allowing me to move or may not. So sometimes board games are a play, or sometimes going out with a football could be play. Sometimes just playing Raja Rani in the house could be play. Sometimes just like, the kids make that, paper se bana ke, now bana ke, chhodna could be play. So depending on available resources, time, energy, but I think the core piece for me is people are able to express their agency when they are playing. Yeah.
Isha, we can go next with you.
So I completely agree with what Rohit said, and just to add to it, like not only for kids, but I feel for each and every person living on this earth, I feel it's like an interaction with the nature is what we would consider as play. It could even be a child just sitting and playing with the water or playing with the sunlight and his shadow, or it could even be just the adults who are watching around and playing with the leaves when we are sitting idle and thinking something in our own thoughts. And it could be any form. It's not necessary to always have a person around you and you see two people interacting or using any external object to term is at play. It could be anything without even presence of any second person or any object.
Thank you, Vidhi.
All right, so since you specifically asked what it means to each of us, I would say in my practice, a play can never be something that we do in our break time. Play has to be something that happens within our therapy also. So according to me, play is, in one word, if I have to sum it up, it's exploration. So just to give you a very small example, adults do come to us, and they not only come to us with their movements lost, but they lose trust in themselves. They don't trust their body anymore. What we have noticed is when we indulge them in some playful movements, they actually forget about all the fear, anxiety, and they just do the movements. And I think that is what builds trust within them, because trust is something that cannot be commanded. It has to be felt, experienced, and that's when you start accepting it. So for me, it's a lot of self-exploration, exploring the environment, and just being self.
Yeah, I'm right.